Today is the 4th of December 2023, and this will be our 11th video on some of the questions that we are looking at. These are possible questions, okay, that can come in your exam. Okay, now thank you to everyone who has been watching our videos, okay, and please, and thank you to everyone who have subscribed. Please, if you haven't considered subscribing, can you please consider subscribing, and then sharing, liking, and following our videos, okay? I'll really appreciate that. And with the subscribing part, if the account is not yours, please ask permission from the account holder. It's very important. You can also open your account if you are above the legal age limit, but if you don't know how, just ask somebody to help you open your own account, subscribe to it, and then when we upload videos, you can get a notification, okay? In the comment section, I normally write, please follow my notes / scripts, okay? I have just gone over the notes several times to make sure that what I'm going to share with you today is how you, one of the ways or a way you can answer the question, okay, and get full marks. So please, it's important you follow my notes, okay? Now, beware of scammers. Beware of them, okay? And please, if you're a scammer, don't do that, okay? It's not a good thing. Just stop. Recap. Please watch last video for your recap, okay? Because we are not doing topics now, we are doing questions. The topics might vary depending on the question I have or I chose to share with you. So just watch the last recap. Sometimes I add a few bits, like today, to explain how I solve the question, okay? And then if I haven't done that topic, I'm making notes so that when I finish some questions to some extent, I'll make videos on that notes, or I'll just use some of the starters to just explain a bit more, okay? Because I know some people are doing exams next year in a few months, and I would like them to be prepared as much as possible. So that's why I've started giving you questions and solving questions with you a bit early. And if you don't understand a topic, just go back and watch a video on that. There are a lot of videos there that can help you. So look for the topic, watch it, and then you are good to go, okay? Now, I started today, work out the following, okay? When you look at this one, these are variables, okay? So working out and is multiplication, okay? So G times 2E, okay, is times, not add. So that means it's 2EG. Okay, that's what we have here. 3s times 5t. So 3 times 5 is 15. And then you have S and T there. So what it means is if we know what S and T is, then we can find the value of this whole thing. But at the moment we've not been given, so we'll just leave our answer that way. Okay. 7R times T. Okay. We are timesing, not adding. So it's 7RT. 4. ST times 6 VW. So 6 X ST, okay, and then VW. Okay, so we put all together. We have 4 variables here, so we put all together. 5. 2G squared times F3. So 2F3 G squared. So 2F3 cube G squared. Okay. Now 6. 2KL to the power 2 times 3Q squared. So 2 times 3 is 6. K L squared Q squared. Okay. 7. ABC times C cube. So 2 again, which is my number. AB. Now there is 1 C here, and there is 3 C to the power cube. Now with the rule that we have on our flashcard, this is the power 1, this is the power 4. So it becomes C to the power 4. Okay. 8. 6 HK times 3 YZQ. So 6 times 3 is 18. HK YZQ. Okay, that is our starter for today. Okay. Now, today we have a lot to do. I did a video on cylinder and I showed you what a cylinder looks like. Okay, we've looked at the area. That is a cylinder here. Okay, it looks like a cylinder here. Okay, it has 2 circle, one at the top and one at the down. Okay, this is the height from here to here, there, and the radius on the top and the down part, okay, is the same because the top has a circular part and the down has a circular part. This question, I just took it straight out. I haven't done anything to it. Okay, so let's look at the question again. Okay, the surface area of a solid cylinder is given by the formula S equals 2 pi RH. So the H is from the top to the down. Okay, the radius is from the top, a circular part, to there. Okay, we know what the radius of a circle looks like. The H here is the height of the cylinder. So I've just drawn it to show you. Okay, and I've just shown you something in real life that looks like a cylinder. So the surface area of a cylinder, of a solid cylinder, is given by the formula S equals 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. So they are kind in this paper. This is a higher paper. It's a calculator paper, and they've given you the formula for this surface area. Now, the first part of the question says, rearrange the formula to make H the subject. Your H is from here to there. So that is the first part of the question. So rearranging, okay, so I'm just going to write out the equation again, but you should be mindful you want to make H the subject. So after solving, your answer should be H equal to something. Okay. Again, we have videos on this, so you should go and look for making the subject. So the surface area, this is the formula we've been given. S equals 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. Now the H is on this part, not on this part, but there is a plus before 2 pi R squared. If I move plus 2 pi R squared to the other side, I have X, which is the surface area, minus 2 pi R squared. So now I have 2 pi R H on its own. So now I have the formula. I have 2 pi R H equals X minus 2 pi R squared. Be mindful, I want to make H the subject. How do I do that? I divide both sides by 2 pi R. So to let H be the subject, I already have S minus 2 pi R squared, all divided by 2 pi R. Okay, so now this is H. Okay, so that is the first part of the question. Okay, now the second part of the question, we are supposed to use that to solve the radius. Okay, so it says work out the value of H when S equals 95 pi centimeters squared. S is the surface area and R equals 5.3 centimeters. So our unit is in centimeters. So whatever we get, we need to leave our answer in centimeters. Okay. Now they added a little bit here. Part of it said, give your answer to a suitable degree of accuracy. So they didn't say 1 decimal place or 2 decimal places or whatever, or leave it in pi. They said a suitable degree of accuracy. So you can as well leave it in 1 decimal place. Okay. Now, from A, the first part. So this is what I'm saying. At times, you can link the first part of the question to the second part. If you can see that, then it's okay. So you don't have to go and start again using this formula here. Okay, you've already found H, which is this one here. So I'm going to just put S and R here and solve from here, because there is no point finding H in the first part and then go back and use the original formula. Okay, so now H, I've been told S is 95 pi centimeters squared, and then R is 5.3 centimeters. So in the end, H, which is the length, will be centimeters. Okay, we'll remember our units in the end. So x, which I've made the formula which I've made h the subject, I'm just going to substitute the figures. Okay, so s now will be 95 pi minus 2 pi. R was given to me as 5.3 squared from the subject I made, all over 2 pi r. Again, r is 5.3. Now h is 95 pi. Now 2 pi, first I'll do 5.3. Remember, this is a calculator paper. Okay, so that's why I keep on encouraging you. Stop using the calculator on your phone and use your own calculator. If you haven't got a calculator, you can nicely request your parents or your guardian to give you one for a Christmas present. That will be a very good handy present, okay? Or yes, for you to start using so that you get familiar with all these functions, okay? And then so you have 95 pi, and they shouldn't buy the complex one because they won't allow you to use it. Just buy the recommended one, okay? 95 pi, okay, which is s minus 2 pi r squared, okay? R is 5.3 over 2 pi r. So I repeat, 95 pi, 5.3 all squared times 2 will give me 56.18 pi. Okay, I'm not simplifying the pi yet because they said I should leave my answer to a suitable degree of accuracy. Now I have 95 pi, so I'll put 95 on my calculator and then find pi and then multiply, okay, and then minus 56.18 pi. Okay, you can do it separately. You have a lot of time. I'll rather make you do it separately than do it all together and get the wrong answer. All divided by 2 times 5.3 is 10.6, and then you bring your pi. So now h is all these values here. So 95 pi will give us 298.45. Okay, 56.18 pi comes back as 176.49. Okay, I've taught you how to do estimation. This is 50. Pi is about 3.142. So I should be getting about 150 plus. So this is accurate. 10.6 pi is 33.30 pi. Okay, so if I subtract the numerators, I have 121.96, all divided by 33.30. So now when I do this on the calculator, I have 3.7 some values, but I've reduced it to 1 decimal place. So h will be 3.7 centimeters to 1 decimal place. Okay, now the question says give your answer to a suitable degree of accuracy. So I can leave it as 1 decimal place, and you can also leave it as 2 decimal place. Now look, R was given to me to 1 decimal place, so if I leave h to 1 decimal place and write my unit is also a degree of accuracy. Okay. Now, let's look at another example. Okay. This it has to do with proportional stuff. I haven't done videos of this, so I've made notes, and I'll do a video on this. Okay, I'll use a few starters to explain the basis, and then I'll bring question and make a video on proportionality and stuff so you can understand. But I'm going to explain it, and then we'll solve the question because it's a higher paper, as I said. Okay, and so if you're in a foundation group and you can understand this, then you should be doing a higher paper, not a foundation paper. Okay, example, y is inversely proportional to x squared, where x is greater than 0. There is a reason they've given you this. S is greater than 0. When we're doing inequalities, I showed you how to differentiate greater than and less than. So you can go back and watch. We have a lot to do today, okay? Now, when x is 2, y equals 20. The question says, form an equation for y in terms of x. Now, what I want to explain to you before I solve the question is, inversely proportional means when y is increasing, x squared is decreasing. And when x squared is increasing, y squared is decreasing. Okay, that is the symbol for proportionality, okay, or proportional. Okay, but before this question is asking you to do inversely proportional. But before I go on to solve the question, I want to explain something to you. So if they say y is directly proportional to x, what it means is both variables are increasing. So y is proportional to x is written as this: y is proportional to x. Immediately you bring the equal to sign, you put in a constant. So y is proportional to x becomes y equals kx, okay, where k is your constant. Y is directly proportional to x squared. Here, y is directly proportional to x. That is what I've explained. If y is directly proportional to x squared, what it means is when y is increasing, x squared is also increasing. So you write it as y, and then you bring the proportionality sign, x squared. Immediately you insert your constant, okay? You have y equals kx squared because it is a direct proportionality. So k is a constant. Y is inversely proportional to x means to x means when y is increasing, x is decreasing. So now you write it as y is proportional to x is inversely, that word inverse, okay? So y is proportional to 1 over x, Okay, so your equation becomes y equals kx. So now let's go back to the question. Okay, the question says y is form an equation for the term y equals x. Okay, so we've been told here y is proportional to x squared. Okay, and we want to make an equation that has y and x squared in it. So now y is inversely proportional to x squared becomes y is proportional to 1 over x squared because it's inverse. One variable will increase, the x squared will decrease. Okay, and then we've been told x is greater than 0. There is a reason we've been told that. Okay, so x is positive, not negative. So y equals k x squared. That would be the first part. Now, they said when x is 2, y is 20. So now, this is our formula. We have, if we put the constant, so y is 20 equals a constant. X is 2 because y is inversely proportional to x squared. So 20 equals k 2 squared. 2 squared is 4, so that's the 4 we have here. So if we cross multiply, or if k is dividing here, if it comes here, it multiplies. So k will be equal to 80. So immediately you find k, you put it back into the equation. So now we found that k is 80. So now from what we've been given, k is 80. We put it back into y equals kx squared. Okay, I'll do a video on this. Okay, so now y will be 80, which is our k, over s squared. Okay, so that is the first part of the equation. Now the second part says work out the value of x when y equals 5. Okay, yeah, when y equals 5. So we know that our constant from the previous question is 80, and y is inversely proportional to x squared. Okay, now y is 5, we've put it there, our constant is 80. So this question links to what we've just done. Okay, and then we have x squared, which is 5. So x is 5, so x squared will be what? No, we don't know the values of x, so we know only the values of y. Okay, so now 5 equals 80 over x squared. So we are going to bring s squared to this side. So we have 80 divided by 5. Okay, 80 divided by 5 on the calculator is 16. I said this was a calculator paper, okay, and it's a higher paper. Now, so x squared is 16. So x equals plus or minus the root of 16, which is plus or minus 4. So x is either plus 4 or minus 4. Now, in the question which I showed you earlier, they said x is greater than 0. If they've told you x is greater than 0, then you can go and choose x minus 4. And you can write plus or minus 4 as your answer. So s will only be positive because in the beginning, they've told you that x is either x is greater. In the beginning of the question, they told you x is greater than 0. Okay, they've made this statement to you. Assuming they haven't given you this statement, then you can say, well, x is plus 4 minus 4. Then you find x, you found two values of y when x is plus 4 and minus 4. Okay, there is two values of x when y is equal to 5. But here, they've categorically said x is greater than 0. So you can't go on choosing minus 4, because if you, and you can't put both, you have to put the positive. So our answer now will be x will be equal to 4. Okay. So this is what I have for you today. So as I said, I'm making notes of the topics I haven't done I haven't done videos on. So as I do some of these questions, I'll go back. Assuming I have like 10 topics, I'll go back and then do all, maybe as a series or one video each on them, and do examples, a couple of examples and the possible questions you might get. Okay, but this is an exam question. I guess pick it out of the this thing. I haven't done anything to it. Okay, so I hope you've learned something today. Thank you very much for watching our video today, and I'll see you in the next.